You know, so this is this country where you have Division 3 people in important positions, you know, just because they have godfathers, just because they come from a particular part of the country. This is a country where a boy from Anambra will score over 300 in JAMB examination. He will not get admission. Somebody will score 100 from Kebbi State. He will enter university, and then before you know it, he will end up as a permanent secretary or as a Supreme Court judge. No, that kind of thing does not, you know, go well for national development. This is the question. We have to return to that conversation when we merit matter in Nigeria.
Well said.
All right, you heard that. That was Reuben Abati. You heard what he said, and that's just the reality. That has been the norm since the foundation of Nigeria. It is so sad that that's exactly what is going on. Someone like me, I was born and bred in the North, and for those of you who didn't know, my JIBRIN, I'm not from the North. You hear JIBRIN, I'm not from the North, neither am I a Muslim. I'm an Igbo man, to be sincere. In reality, I'm an Igbo man. But I bear JIBRIN. You know why? Yes, I bear JIBRIN because of the Northern factor. Sorry, this is because of the Nigerian factor. Like I said, I was born and bred in the North. I schooled in the North. So that name is just a name to be able to belong, a name to actually a kind of move forward in the society in that region, a name to gain an admission, go through admission process and succeed through the admission process, a name for academic pursuit or whatever. So that is just that's just the reality. So you hear my name, and that's my real name. It's not a nickname. As the name in my documents, everything, my official name. But I'm not a Muslim. Never was a Muslim. I'm an Igbo man. My both parents are from the same state and locality. So, and that is just the reality. So, but this is the point. I had to do what I had to do. That's exactly what is happening in Nigeria, and especially the North. In the northern part of Nigeria, we all know, like ABU and so many other institutions, you just can't gain admission. The moment they hear your name as a Southern name, a Christian name or Southern name, be rest assured, you can't get juicy courses. You can't get juicy courses, the courses that are very, very lucrative. You just can't get it. You can't even get the admission. Even if you have to, if you want to, even if they are giving you admission, they'll give you admission on, they'll give you offer of admission of courses that are not. That's why you see so many people, they desire certain specific course, but they give them a different course entirely, different from their vision, their goal. So that is Nigerian factor. That's exactly what Reuben Abati is talking about. Some people, like he said, someone will score less than 200. Like some of these schools, their cutoff marks about 250, like ABU and whatever, 250 and above, 280 or whatever. At the end of the day, they give you that scored even above the cutoff mark. They'll trash your admission to the door, trash it somewhere else, and bring in someone that has much lower cutoff mark, 100 and something, less than 200. They admit them because of their name and their religion, because of who they are, where they are coming from. And that is the problem that we have in the system. People like us wouldn't have been bearing the name JIBRIN if not because of this same issue. So that is just the reality we are faced with. It's unfortunate, and that thing is more prevalent in the North. You just can't, if you are in the North and you are a Southerner, you can't succeed in anything. Okay, mostly there are people, of course, okay, not anything. I'm being exaggerative here. Pardon my exaggeration. We have successful Southerners, Igbo men and women who are in the North, residing in the North, who have made it, who became one thing or the other, but they became one thing or the other, not within the political system, not within the academic system, not within the formal system, that formal government system that has to do with government. They became Christians or rather, Southerners are succeeding in the North. They have succeeded and succeeded in the North, independent of the general system there, the conventional system there that has one thing or the other to do with the government. And that is, it ought not to be so. You are supposed to succeed in any part of the world, regardless of where you came from, as long as you have what it takes. You have the pedigree, you have the credentials, you have all and what it takes to succeed. But that's not what we have in Nigeria, especially in the North. Again, I'm emphasizing the North because that is where I was born and bred. I saw it and experienced it myself. For you to succeed in North, you have to know one Hausa Fulani. If you are a contractor or a businessman who deals with the government, you have to know someone that knows someone that knows someone, either directly or indirectly or whatever. And that is the system we find ourselves. It has to change. This is why I have been shouting all the time for years. Initially, I was putting it in writing. It was writing until this social media era that is now, we are doing something like this, trying to go online to do the same, to continue with the same advocacy. It's unfortunate that in Nigeria, there is no merit. People who are just not there. I remember meeting one of my classmates who have become very, very great as a politician and in government. And those days, I visited him in his office, and there was this name we used to call him those days in school. And I mentioned that name, and there was a word I used, and his countenance changed and became bossy and proud or whatever. That was the last time I walked out on him. He just told me, said, JIBRIN, can you please stop? I'm not that guy anymore. He used actually a word that actually to me, someone that was literally licking my feet academically in school. Here we are. He was a dollant. When I say dollant, Hausa will say dolo. I went to his office actually to seek for contract. I was a contractor then. And I walked out on him. I said, to hell with you. Who the hell do you think you are? And that is it. So those are the people. He became what he became, not for merit. Not for merit. It was connection. The family he came from. The roots he came from. That is just it. Not merit. And that is why that is why so many things are going wrong in Nigeria. That's why we have corruption all over the place. That is why we don't have efficiency and credibility anymore. That is why things are not working. That is why assignments are not carried out. That is why there is inefficiency and ineffectiveness. Obviously, what do you expect when you run a system that is based on sentiments, favoritism, nepotism? What do you expect? You expect mediocrity.